Drew McIntyre quits WWE after Cody wins title before WrestleMania 42. Drew McIntyre just walked out of WWE in the most shocking and devastating moment of 2026, and if you think this is a work, if you think this is just another storyline angle, you're dead wrong. Drew McIntyre, one of WWE's most loyal soldiers, one of their biggest stars, the man who bled for this company through a pandemic with no fans, just handed in his resignation after Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship again, and the reason why he quit has exposed the ugliest truth about WWE's booking philosophy that nobody wants to admit. This isn't about jealousy. This isn't about ego. This is about a man who was promised his moment and got screwed over and over until he finally said enough. Comment right now: is Drew McIntyre justified in quitting, or is he being unprofessional? Because this decision is going to divide the wrestling world, and there's no middle ground. Let me break down exactly what happened, because the timeline matters and it reveals a pattern of betrayal that would break anyone. Drew McIntyre has been chasing the WWE Championship for years, since his original championship reign during the pandemic era. He won the title in front of 0 fans at WrestleMania 36, a moment that should have been the crowning achievement of his career but instead felt hollow because nobody was there to witness it. WWE promised Drew they would give him his WrestleMania moment in front of a packed crowd when things returned to normal. That promise was broken repeatedly. WrestleMania 37? Nope. WrestleMania 38? Passed over. WrestleMania 39? Given to someone else. WrestleMania 40? Cody Rhodes' coronation. And now, heading into WrestleMania 42, WWE just announced that Cody Rhodes, who already had his big moment last year, is winning the WWE Championship again before Mania, which means Drew's shot at redemption is once again being stolen from him. The announcement came during a backstage segment on SmackDown. Triple H was addressing the roster about WrestleMania season plans when he revealed that Cody Rhodes would be challenging for and winning the WWE Championship at the next Premium Live event, positioning him as champion heading into WrestleMania 42. The camera caught Drew's reaction in the background. His face went from shock to rage to complete emptiness in about 10 seconds. He turned around and walked out of the room while Triple H was still talking. 30 minutes later, reports started flooding in. Drew McIntyre had left the building. He didn't finish his scheduled dark match. He didn't do his autograph signing. He got in his car and drove away. And then, at 11 p.m. that night, Drew posted on social media, "I gave WWE everything. My body. My health. My loyalty. And they gave me nothing in return. I'm done being patient. I'm done being the good soldier. I'm done with WWE." The wrestling world exploded. Twitter crashed. Reddit went into meltdown. Every wrestling journalist scrambled to confirm if this was real or a work. And within hours, multiple sources confirmed Drew McIntyre's resignation is legitimate. He's walking away from WWE, walking away from millions of dollars, walking away from WrestleMania, because he's been broken by a company that took him for granted. Here's why people are absolutely furious on Drew's behalf, and this anger is completely justified. Drew McIntyre has been the perfect WWE employee. He got fired in 2014, went to the independents, rebuilt himself into a star, came back better than ever, and WWE rewarded him with a championship run during the worst possible time during COVID when nobody could see it. That wasn't Drew's fault, but it robbed him of the moment he deserved. Since then, Drew has been promised over and over that he'd get his redemption. Be patient, Drew. Your time will come. We haven't forgotten about you, Drew. You're in our plans for WrestleMania, Drew. Year after year, lies. Meanwhile, WWE keeps going back to the same safe choices: Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, part-timers like The Rock or Brock Lesnar. Drew gets passed over repeatedly for guys who already had their moments. And the worst part? Drew never complained publicly. He never went into business for himself. He never politicked backstage or refused to do jobs. He was the ultimate professional, doing everything WWE asked of him, putting people over, working injured, being available for every show, cutting great promos, delivering incredible matches. And what did it get him? Nothing. Absolutely nothing except more broken promises. The decision to have Cody win the title again before WrestleMania 42 is the final slap in Drew's face. Cody already had his WrestleMania moment last year when he finally defeated Roman Reigns and fulfilled his story. That was perfect. That was complete. Having him win the title again and headline another WrestleMania isn't storytelling, it's WWE playing it safe because they're too scared to take risks on anyone else. Here's what makes this worse: Drew McIntyre versus current champion was right there as a perfect WrestleMania 42 main event. Drew chasing the title, finally getting his moment in front of 80,000 fans, winning the championship with the crowd exploding. That's a ready-made WrestleMania story that writes itself. But WWE looked at that story and said, "Nah, let's just do Cody again because we know that works." That's cowardice. That's WWE refusing to build new stars because they're addicted to repeating what already succeeded. And Drew McIntyre, a man who should be one of the biggest stars in the company, finally recognized that he's never going to be given the opportunity he deserves because WWE has decided he's not the guy. Let's talk about what this means for WWE going forward, because Drew quitting creates massive problems. First, they just lost one of their most reliable main eventers right before WrestleMania season, the most important time of the year. Second, they've sent a message to the entire roster that loyalty means nothing. If Drew McIntyre, who did everything right, can get treated this badly, what hope does anyone else have? Third, they've proven once again that WWE would rather recycle old stars than create new ones. The locker room reaction has been telling. Multiple wrestlers have posted cryptic messages on social media that seem to support Drew without directly saying it. Know your worth from one star. Sometimes you have to bet on yourself from another. Loyalty is a two-way street from a third. The roster knows what Drew's been through, and they know he got screwed. This could create massive locker room morale issues going forward. Now let's address the people who are calling Drew unprofessional or saying he's throwing a tantrum. Those people are wrong. Drew gave WWE years of patience. He fulfilled every obligation. He never went into business for himself during shows. He waited his turn like they told him to. And after years of broken promises, he finally realized the turn was never coming. That's not unprofessional, that's a man recognizing his value and refusing to be disrespected any longer. Furthermore, Drew is 38 years old. He doesn't have decades left in his career. Every year WWE wastes is a year he can't get back. Waiting for a WrestleMania moment that WWE clearly has no intention of giving him isn't patience, it's foolishness. Drew made the hard but correct decision to walk away while he still has prime years left to wrestle elsewhere. And let's be real about what elsewhere means. AEW just got infinitely more interesting. Imagine Drew McIntyre motivated, angry, and ready to prove WWE wrong showing up in AEW. The dream matches are endless. Drew vs Kenny Omega. Drew vs Will Ospreay. Drew vs Hangman Page. Drew vs MJF. Drew vs Kazuchika Okada. These are matches that would sell out buildings and break the internet. WWE's loss is AEW's massive gain. But maybe Drew doesn't go to AEW. Maybe he goes back to the independents where he rebuilt himself the first time. Maybe he goes to Japan and has an incredible run in NJPW. Maybe he takes time off to heal his body and comes back when he's ready on his terms. The point is, Drew now has options, and he's no longer trapped in a company that doesn't value him. Here's what WWE should have done, and this is what makes this situation so infuriating. They should have recognized Drew's value years ago. They should have given him his WrestleMania moment when he was hot. They should have built him as the guy instead of constantly going back to the same safe choices. They should have listened when Drew expressed frustration behind the scenes instead of telling him to be patient. But WWE's hubris and their addiction to formulaic booking cost them one of the best wrestlers in the world. The Cody Rhodes situation specifically is complicated because Cody himself isn't the villain here. Cody's great. Cody's over. Cody deserved his moment last year. But having him win the title again and headline another WrestleMania when other stars like Drew are desperate for that opportunity? That's WWE's creative bankruptcy showing. They found something that worked with Cody and now they're going to run it into the ground instead of using Cody to elevate others. Let's talk about the business implications of Drew leaving. WWE just lost a proven draw who can work with anyone, cut great promos, and be trusted in any spot on the card. They lost someone who could have been a franchise player for another 5 years. They lost someone who international markets love. The financial impact of this decision, both in terms of Drew leaving and the opportunity cost of never properly pushing him, is in the millions of dollars. All because WWE was too stubborn to give him his WrestleMania moment. The most heartbreaking part of this entire situation is that Drew McIntyre is exactly the kind of wrestler WWE should be building around. He's got the size Vince McMahon loved. He's got the work rate that Triple H appreciates. He's got the promo ability that makes storylines compelling. He's got the international appeal that helps business worldwide. He's the complete package. And WWE fumbled him because they got comfortable with their established stars and refused to take risks. Here's what needs to happen next, and WWE better be paying attention. They need to publicly acknowledge they screwed up. They need to reach out to Drew and apologize. They need to offer him exactly what he wants: a guarantee of a WrestleMania main event, creative control over his character, and a championship run that actually means something. And if Drew says no, they need to accept that they destroyed this relationship through their own incompetence. But honestly, I don't think Drew should go back. WWE had years of chances to do right by him and they blew it repeatedly. Going back would just put Drew in the same position, waiting for opportunities that never come while WWE prioritizes everyone else. Drew deserves to be somewhere that values him, that appreciates him, that will actually deliver on promises made. What I need from you right now, comment and tell me honestly, is Drew McIntyre justified in quitting WWE, or should he have stayed and continued waiting? Do you think WWE will regret this decision, or will they just replace Drew and move on? And where should Drew go next? AEW, NJPW, back to independence, or should he take time off? Like this video if you support Drew McIntyre's decision and think WWE screwed him over. Share it if you think other wrestlers should learn from Drew's situation and know their worth. Subscribe if you want me to track every development in this story, whether Drew actually leaves, where he ends up, and how WWE tries to spin this disaster. Drew McIntyre deserved better. He earned his WrestleMania moment. He should have been WWE champion in front of packed arenas multiple times by now. Instead, WWE took him for granted, broke their promises repeatedly, and drove one of their best talents right out of the company. This isn't just Drew's loss, it's WWE's failure. And if they don't learn from this, they're going to lose more talent who finally realize that loyalty to WWE doesn't get rewarded. The Scottish Warrior just declared war on WWE by walking away. Now we see if WWE has the humility to admit they were wrong, or if their pride will cost them one of the best wrestlers of this generation permanently.